Good evening, you're watching Awani Tonight with me, Farhana Sheh. Topuan Naimah Abdul Khalid was charged with failing to declare her assets to the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. The wife of former Finance Minister Tun Daim Zainuddin pleaded not guilty in the Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court.
The offence falls under Section 36(2) of the MACC Act. If convicted, Naimah faces a maximum jail term of 5 years and a 100 ringgit fine. The 67-year-old was accused of failing to comply with an MACC notice to declare her assets, including luxury vehicles, properties in Kuala Lumpur and Penang, as well as 2 companies, Ilham Tower Sendirian Berhad and Ilham Baru Sendirian Berhad. The court set bail at 250,000 ringgit with 1 surety and ordered Naimah to surrender her passport until the end of the trial. Case mention has been scheduled for March 22nd.
Meanwhile, the 1MDB Asset Recovery Task Force is considering taking legal action against foreign banks linked to the scandal. However, its chairman, Datuk Sri Johari Abdul Ghani, did not identify the banks, but said they failed to carry out due diligence before facilitating fund transfers related to the fund.
Johari added that they were also looking into whether negotiators and lawyers representing the government at the time had been negligent in securing a fair and adequate settlement from Goldman Sachs. It was reported that the firm had agreed to pay $3.9 billion in 2020 to settle Malaysia's criminal investigation into its role in the scandal. However, there are now disagreements over the settlement, which required Goldman to make an interim payment if Malaysia did not recover at least $500 million from the firm by August 2022. Goldman had sued Malaysia in a British court in October last year, alleging that the government breached its obligations to credit assets against the guarantee provided by Goldman in the settlement agreement and to recover other assets worth $1.4 billion. Malaysia has denied these allegations and accused Goldman of attempting to offset fines and settlements recovered from other institutions against the $1.4 billion sum. Johari added that Malaysia had responded to an arbitration request by Goldman and that the 2 parties were in the process of agreeing on a procedural timetable.
In other news, the concession of Express Rail Link ERL to operate train services to KLIA has been extended by another 30 years to 2059. Transport Minister Anthony Loh says the extension will allow ERL, which operates the KLIA Express and KLIA Transit, to set fares based on market rates.
This is the fastest link between the airport and the city. And this is the first impression for tourists and foreigners who come to Malaysia. So we hope that with this extension of concession, it will allow the operator to reinvest and ensure better services and better products for the passengers. I hope that we can encourage more users to use KLIA Express to come to the city or from the city going back to the airport.
The government would stop paying fees or charges to ERL from the collection of passenger service charges (PSC) from 2029. Currently, ERL receives a PSC collection of 1 ringgit per domestic passenger and 5 ringgit per international passenger via KLIA.
A bill on the separation of powers between the Attorney General and Public Prosecutor could be tabled by the end of 2024. Deputy Law and Institutional Reform Minister M. Kulasegaran says the drafting of the bill is in its final stages.
He said discussions had been held with stakeholders, including the Bar Council. Kulasegaran said the government was now studying the systems of other countries, such as Australia and Kenya, for comparison. This is to ensure that the Attorney General and Public Prosecutor are effectively accountable to Parliament. He added that the process was expected to take a few more months.
The alleged Dubai move has sparked discussions on strengthening the anti-party hopping law. Mujibur Abdul Muiz from Ilham Centre highlights the loopholes in the current law.
Number one, a major loophole that always be exploited is that the anti-party hopping provisions cannot be invoked when a political party joins a coalition or leave the coalition to join another. Number two, they are the classical example of how the usage of party symbol, it is not considered as party jumping.
Mujibu also called for a reconsideration of proposals put forward by Dewan Negara Speaker Tan Sri Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar.
Number one, of course, try to include any act of disobeying or violating party instruction in the act, violating any whip instruction in Parliament, and of course, reconsider to update and enforce the condition where any members of party who have broke the anti-hopping party law considered as disqualified and not allowed to contest in future election for a certain period of time. Number three, maybe we can consider the possibility of recall election as a possible mechanism to address the loophole. Simply because if any MP sacked by the party, it still does not require the MP to empty the seat. By having this recall election, we are giving the true meaning of the power to punish party hoppers to the voters instead of the laws or instead of the party itself.
We'll go for a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Last year, a staggering 600,000 road accidents were recorded with more than 12,000 fatalities. Can the intervention of artificial intelligence help reduce or prevent future road accidents? Professor Dr. Manjit Singh Sidhu of Uniten shares his insights.
One key application is by using predictive analytics. Yeah, here we could use AI algorithms to analyze previous case data, traffic patterns, and environmental factors. Now, this information can be used deliberately to deploy resources such as law enforcement or maybe road maintenance in high-risk zones or hotspot areas based on previous history. Secondly, we could also design AI-powered smart traffic management systems which could optimize traffic flow. For example, by adjusting traffic signals based on real-time data can reduce congestion and subsequently lower the chances of road crashes. Okay? And then we can also design AI driver assistance systems which offers another layer of safety, you know, with features such as lane departure warnings, collision avoidance, and adaptive cruise control that can alert users to potential dangers. Okay. So we could also use biometric monitoring for driver safety. Here, AI can be employed to monitor the psychological state of the drivers, detecting sign of fatigue, distraction, or impairment. So this information can trigger alerts, the interventions to prevent accidents caused by compromised driver conditions.
Manjit said that the use of AI alone will not eliminate road accidents.
With AI, I am not saying that we could have driverless vehicles on the road and going to feel 100% safe. Yeah. For example, in the US, robo-taxis, they still face rising accidents due to bumps in the roads and safety concerns. Yeah. So the reason is because it still depends on the condition of vehicles, road infrastructure, as well as condition of the road itself, such as bumps, potholes, weather condition, could maybe cause slippery roads during rain, or the driver himself could be drowsy, influenced under drugs or alcohol. Okay, so in the end of the day, many safety measures needs to be taken.
Manjit underscored the need of a comprehensive strategy to fully integrate AI into road safety.
We need comprehensive strategy that integrates all AI applications with effective policies, public awareness campaign, and law enforcement efforts. We also need collaborative efforts between government agencies, the private sector, and technology developers to ensure the successful implementation and sustainability of these initiatives and contributes significantly to reducing vehicle crashes and fatalities in Malaysia.
On to the international front, at least 50 people were injured after a 7.0 magnitude earthquake struck along the border of China and Kyrgyzstan. Local authorities have sent a team to the epicenter of the quake in the Xinjiang region with 800 people on standby for further disaster relief. Electricity has been cut off in the epicenter. Kazakhstan Health Ministry said 44 injured people had sought medical help in the city of Almaty. Meanwhile, China's Xinjiang government said 6 people had been injured, 2 of them seriously. A total of 47 buildings had collapsed in the region and another 78 had been damaged. Local media in India also reported strong tremors in capital New Delhi, some 1,400 kilometers away. Meanwhile, the death toll from a landslide in China's southwestern province of Yunnan has risen to 20. Rescue workers are racing against time, battling freezing temperatures and snow to locate dozens more missing.
The landslide in the city of Jiaodong occurred early Monday morning and buried at least 18 houses. State media reported that preliminary investigations showed that the landslide was caused by the collapse of a steep cliff. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered an all-out rescue effort. More than 500 people have been evacuated from their homes and nearly 1,000 rescue workers have been dispatched to the site.
Hundreds of thousands of devotees flock to the Ram Temple in India's Ayodhya city as it opens to the public for the first time. Crowds were seen pushing through the gates of the temple to catch a glimpse of the Hindu god statue Lord Ram, which was consecrated by Prime Minister Narendra Modi yesterday.
To mark the occasion, many states declared a public holiday on Monday, while stock markets were closed. Homes and businesses also lit up after Modi called for the occasion to be celebrated as Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights. Officials from the temple said they expect 100,000 visitors each day for the next few months. The temple was built on grounds where the Babri Mosque stood for centuries before it was torn down by a Hindu mob in 1992. Its demolition triggered the worst religious riots since India's independence, killing more than 2,000 people, majority of them Muslims. Most of India's opposition parties declined the invitation to the grand opening, but the event is a landmark moment for Modi in his decades-long campaign to align the country with the majority faith.
US and British forces carried out a fresh round of strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen. The Pentagon said that they targeted a Houthi underground storage site as well as missile and surveillance capabilities used by the group against Red Sea shipping.
The Iran-backed Houthis, who control the most populous parts of Yemen, are targeting ships linked to Israel in what they say is an act of solidarity with Palestinians under Israeli attack in Gaza. The attacks have disrupted global shipping amid growing fears that the fallout from the Israel-Hamas war could destabilize the Middle East. In the latest response, US and British forces carried out 8 strikes with support from Australia, Bahrain, Canada and the Netherlands. US officials said the strikes have degraded the Houthis' ability to carry out complex attacks, but they have declined to offer any specific numbers of military capabilities destroyed so far.
That wraps up Awani Tonight. I am Fana Sheh. Thank you for watching.